Good morning. Hey, good morning. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, with yet another episode of the Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Yeah, check it out. Things are going to be different. You see, that's the thing. You never know what to expect. So here I am, right? Oh wow, look, it's Minecraft, right? Oh, it's Minecraft, but things look slightly different. I hope you notice. Things are not what they appear to be. I mean, they are, right? It's Minecraft. It looks like I'm in a new place. But I don't know. I think things seem a little bit different. Like, ooh, look at those shadows. I mean, like, it looks really good, right? It looks really good. Like, wow, how did I upgrade my system like this? Well, this is not Bedrock. This is on Java. And it took me a long time to understand and realize that Java and Bedrock are just like totally different. I mean, they look the same and they play the same, but a lot of the details are very, very, very different. It took me a long time. It took me all day yesterday to configure this system. I mean, to get it up and running. But yeah, I mean, basically, this is Java Minecraft. I started a new world. Oh, that's yeah, that's kind of buggy, right? It goes through the mountain. I might have to like increase my view distance or something. I don't know to fix that. But yeah, I just was playing Java Minecraft and I could not get over I mean, I get as good performance on Java Minecraft, or close to as good performance on Java Minecraft, as I do on Bedrock. Pretty close. Maybe not exactly the same. Something feels off, but still. But the recording, when I look at the recording is beautiful. On the stream is beautiful. And also, OBS doesn't choke whenever I do stuff. So it just seems to be a better system. It just seems to be better. And then check it out. Now it's raining, right? Okay, it's raining. La la la. So, I mean, and it's Minecraft, but it's better because I have an offhand. And look at, light is coming off of my offhand onto the ground around me, so I can basically hold a lamp in my hand. Isn't that cool? I can actually use my hands. It's amazing in the game. Okay, I was gonna see if it happened. I might have turned it off for the sake of oh no, I didn't. So it's happening. Okay, so it's raining, right? It's raining. Is it happening or no? Oh, hey. Yeah, it's happening. The ground is becoming more and more wet. And there's like a slight reflection because the ground is wet. I guess the effect isn't as powerful at night. But yeah, you can see like there's puddles now. So that it actually feels like it's raining. Not really, but yeah, look, like And look at the pretty rainbows after the storm. So not only does it look like it just got finished raining and it's all wet, but then there's a pretty rainbow after the storm. And it's in the right direction. It's not over there with the sun. It's like it's on the other opposite side of the light. Yay. And look, I have a shadow. So I'm like, I'm actually here. So yeah, I really like Java Minecraft. I didn't realize that it could look this great. I didn't know. What it took was I had to download some mods. One mod was called Fabric. That's like the first one you have to get. And then there's also the Fabric API. And then after that, cows. And after that, I downloaded this stuff called Sodium, or this program, or this thing called Sodium. And that lets you use shaders. And then I found complementary shaders, and I installed them, and they look like this. They look great. It looks like Minecraft, just better. It's not all like RTX. It's not all like shaded out. It still looks like Minecraft. Like, this is why I came here, is because this portal's almost done. I need a few more. That's one right there. I can probably chop off the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could, yeah, once I get a diamond pickaxe, I can turn this back into a portal. But then I'm like, why? It's so far away. It's so far away. So yeah, I'm starting my farm. I have like hardly any food. That's why I'm like raising cows and growing wheat. Because in Minecraft, all action is based on the food you eat. Like, you basically transform food into actions. So let's load up on the cows, right? Unfortunately, I don't have a looting anything. I don't need many sheep. Yeah, it's not so easy to change your skin in this. Like, you have to go to a website to do it. You can't just do it from inside the program. So there are differences, right? There are changes. It's not all hunky-dory. But for the most part, I really like the changes. How much more food do I have? Yeah, not much. I can show you what I was working on down here. So, like, it looks like Minecraft, right? Because it is Minecraft. It's the OG Minecraft. The lava doesn't look as cool as it does in RTX. I mean, it just looks like lava. But oh well. But yeah, look at these caves. Yeah, I had to clear all this out. It was not fun. A lot of running around. Leave me alone! So, it's nice. The ores are lit up. I just can't reach most of them. Because they're up high. And then I get the diamonds look a lot like that. It's hard to, like, tell them apart. Oh, are those diamonds? No. Yeah, so like, I was trying to get down to Y level 0, or Y level like 50 something, and to get iron. Because I don't have an iron farm or anything yet. But yeah. Alright, let's get out of here. I mean, it's like nothing here. I mean, I can go down and like, go down in the scary land, but then I have to like, stop talking and play Minecraft. And while some people might want to see me play Minecraft, they're like, oh, we love Minecraft. I kind of want to talk about stuff. That's why I do this show. Let's grab some stuff here. What are needed is some diamonds. Well, no, okay, so I can make, if I really wanted to go to the nether right now, I could use lava to make obsidian. to make the nether portal. I can just use that lava that's already there. Oh, I need dripstone too, dude. That's right. Great need for things. But yeah, still working on that. I mean, this is literally a brand new world, and Java is different than Minecraft or Bedrock in that I feel it's a lot more difficult in general. But yeah, that's about the entirety of the beginning. I mean, it took a long time to even get to this point. Well, I spent a long time trying to like figure out the right OBS settings. Too, as well. So like the problem this solves that's like great is that I need to find sugarcane. My monitor refresh rate is at 120 frames per second, which is like beautiful to me, right? My eyeballs can eat all those frames per second. It's getting all that information, and it tastes delicious. I love it. I love it. But when I was running it, Windows Bedrock, I was unable to do that. If I tried to run my monitor at 120 frames per second or 144 frames per second, OBS would choke. OBS choked anyways. It would always choke whenever I tried Bedrock and yay! I was looking for this stuff. Nice. Nice. In other words, I couldn't do it. It didn't matter. And I tried a lot. Oh, there's a village over there. Yay, the village. I had no idea. Is it a zombie village or a real village? It's a real village. Yay, I can steal everything in here. No, I don't steal things. Hey, what's up? You got no crops that I need? Acacia sapling? Sure, I'll take that. I'll take your bread too. Ah ha ha ha. Some food is better than no food. That's right, I need food. I'm gonna help myself. You guys don't even eat it. Ooh, emeralds, that's nice. Ooh, well, I don't need the leather right now, but... And all these wheat blocks, I'm taking. Oh no, it's getting dark. I need to, like, sleep. I'm gonna have to kick out one of the villagers. There's a guy right there. What are you doing, guy? Get out of there, homie. Let me help you out. He's like, I can't, I'm stuck here in the flood. Alright, here. Help me, he says. There you go, friend. Alright. I need a bed. Hey, buddy. Nice bed you got there. Yeah, you can have it back. I'm done with it. Oh, the sunshine. Oh, this is the leather worker. So I don't. Are these? That's all wheat. They don't have any carrots or anything else. Looking for something else that you don't have. Cartographer. I'll take your bread. Ooh, maps. I'll take your maps too. I need sand to make glass, to make cartography. Look at this guy. This guy's all the way in the forest. He's like, I don't want to hang out with you guys. Come back. Yeah, I'm pretty savage, right? Hey, cows, let me kill you. Hope you don't belong to anyone. It's early game though, right? I'm literally scavenging for anything. Ooh, it goes to the jungle. Ooh. But like, no one lives here because look at this place, man. It's got like trees right in the middle of the path. Someone didn't take care of it. Or like, yeah. Handle it. Like, look at this nonsense. What a terrible path. You guys have to work on this village here. You need some infrastructure. Come on. Okay, that's the farmer guy doing his farmer stuff. One up there. Alright, I'm gonna take all your wheat. This is a lot of wheat. This is a lot. You guys have a lot. I'm just gonna take it all. Because I can, well, maybe not all of it, because I don't need all of it. I don't even need this much. I'm gonna turn it into cows, and then which I turn into food. And then eventually I'm gonna turn this into target blocks. You're just saving me a bunch of work. Okay. I'll leave you guys that stuff. That's cool. And you have a lot. Look, it's all over the place. Emeralds and trees. All right, that was a fun little side adventure I didn't plan on. I just came to look for sugarcane, and I got more than I bargained for. Hey, I can go get sand over there too. This is like a great place. So like, here's an example. Like, you see those little patches of flowers? Like, that's just so nice. All the different kind of flowers. Just like these little details that make the world feel better. Plus, there's grass everywhere. In Java, the grass isn't as much. Or not Java, in Bedrock, the grass isn't as much. I need sand for glass. Yep. Any cacti? Cactuses? Cactus? No cactus? Sugarcane. Sugarcane! So desperate. Purdy Savannah. I need like a horse to do proper hunting across the plains. So yeah, Java is pretty cool. Now, like, on OBS, it doesn't look as good, but I know it is because, wait, where am I going? Am I going the wrong way? I don't remember this part. Oh yeah, that's the nether portal, you fool. Of course you're going the right direction. Acacia trees. They only grow in the savanna. See what I mean? Look at this grass. This grass is ridiculous compared to Bedrock. Oh, it's time to harvest. Harvest time. So in Bedrock, all the items that drop end up combining. They should probably combine on Java too, to save stuff. But it looks good. Maxed out on seeds, huh? Who would have thunk? Get that egg out. Get out of here, egg. No one wants you here. No other crops. I didn't find any other crops at the other village. So I can't really mix my crops. I want to mix the crops to grow faster. So yeah, this is a new world, so I have to do a bunch of like this stuff in the beginning to survive and to build my empire of what? of pixels, to build my empire of pixels. All right. Here, cows, make more. Procreate. All right, good enough. So loud, so loud. Wow, that was like really good. But now I'm low on wood. I mean, low on space. Look at all the stuff I got on my adventure. Okay, but I gotta like start making room here. Like, I don't really need this banner. And I can eat this food. And I could use this map to see where I am. Ta-da! There's my map so far. Now, if I only had I need an item frame, so I have a skin here. Make an item frame. Yeah, buddy. So, this map looks like that's north. So I guess we'll do it from right here. Okay. In the middle of the night. Ooh, pretty. I don't know, can you see the I mean, do these constellations make sense, or are they just random? Yeah, it's not a very nice home, huh? I mean, I just started. Like, I have a view at least. Not a very nice. I mean, it's all right. All right. Well, hey, hey, I can just sleep real quick. Okay. Sunrise. Let's talk about stuff, right? Because like, sure, it's fun to play Minecraft and all, but yeah, let's talk about stuff. What do I got here? So, yeah, what's going on in the USA? Right now, the Republicans took over the House. And so we see an immediate change in the way the U.S. government behaves. Now you don't hear anything about the Senate because the Senate is just running because the Democrats control it completely. Like unlike before when they had to power share, with like last year or last session, this session they have total control of the Senate. So they're just pumping out the bills. It's easy. Because they know none of them will get passed in the House. Same thing with the House. The House is controlled by Republicans, so they can just pump out the bills. Well, they could if they knew what they were doing, but they're really disorganized. The Republicans are very, very disorganized. They're not actually very good at governing. They're actually real bad at governing. They're great at criticizing, but they're real bad at governing. And we can tell because look at the states. In Texas, it's controlled by Republicans. They have their own independent power grid, which goes down all the time, and is heavily subsidized by the oil industry. I mean, like, the oil industry is heavily subsidized, and it's corrupt, and like it's just bad. People like died because the power grid went down, or they went bankrupt because their electricity bill went really, really high, like for just during a freak storm or whatever. So yeah. Then you look at like gun deaths. Like I don't know. I did that a few weeks ago. I did the laboratories of democracy. You could see what it looks like when Republicans control the state and what it looks like when Democrats control the state. I've already talked about that, so I don't know what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I was talking about how the Republicans control the House and that they're crazy. Now, here, let me give you an example of what I mean by they're crazy. These are representatives. Stefanik, and what George Santos, but I don't know what his real name is. Anthony DeVolder. I don't know. His name changes, but now he's going by George Santos. They replaced normally representatives would wear a lapel that's the American flag because that's who they represent. But these people replaced their American flag with an AR-15 lapel. Also remember that the House representatives are check it out. Andy Biggs also did it, or Andrew Clyde. Is it really about the Second Amendment? Funny how you didn't mention you own the number 4 ranked gun store in Georgia. Not only are you mocking gun violence survivors during Gun Violence Survivor Week, but you're making a profit off of mass shooting too. So Rep. Andrew Clyde, Republican, he's saying, apparently I've been triggering some of my Democratic colleagues because he replaced his American flag lapel with an AR-15. Just like all the other, So, these 3 people who have replaced their American flags with AR-15s, they also voted to take away my vote. I voted in the 2020 election, and I voted a certain way. And these guys attempted to say, no, your vote doesn't count. We're going to just disregard your vote and substitute your vote, my vote, for whatever they wanted, which was Donald Trump. They tried to take away my vote. And now they've taken away their American flag lapel and replaced it with an AR-15 lapel. Also, in the House, Nancy Pelosi, when she controlled it, when the Democrats controlled the House of Representatives, she had to install magometers, magometers, whatever. What do they call them? Magometers, metal detectors. Because she had to pass a rule saying that you could not bring weapons, pistols, guns onto the House floor. She had to pass a rule saying that, and they didn't want to do it. Republicans didn't want to follow the rule. So she had to install metal detectors to make sure that the Republicans followed the rule. Then Republicans tried to get around the metal detector. They wouldn't even go through it. So she had to make another rule saying if you evaded the metal detector, you got fined. So some of the women or some of the representatives just got racked up huge fines, and then they had no money. But it doesn't matter because then they can whine to their MAGA people, and their MAGA people will give them money. But so yeah, Nancy Pelosi had to install magometers to try to keep the House safe. Well, as soon as Republicans got into office, they took away those magometers. Like the first day, they removed the magometers, so that sure, any Republican could bring a gun onto the House floor. You don't know, and they've done it before, and now they're walking around with AR-15s on their vests right after they voted to overthrow the government. It's a bad sign. Here, another bad sign is that Donald Trump got let back onto social media. So he's back on Twitter, he's back on Facebook, on Instagram, he's back on everything. So what is he doing? He's using his platforms to incite for another coup, another insurrection. So here, you know what, I don't even want to do that because I didn't mess up the text yet. I need to like ruin it. Snip and sketch. I'm going to add this right now. Add window catcher. Add existing snip and sketch. Does it work? Yes, it does work. So I'm going to take off in-frame view for a second. Then I'm going to open that up and then snip and sketch it so I can mark it up. Okay, so Donald Trump did this bullshit and said this. Oh no, he retruthed it. So what that means is that he like retweeted it. He spread it. He spread this thing. He spread whatever this is. So what does this say? They, which is us Americans, right? The Americans will have to figure out how to fight 80 million plus. What's 80 million plus? I assume that's the number of people who voted for Donald Trump. Why does this person, this Nazi, assume all the people who voted for Donald Trump are going to be on his side to overthrow the government? Why does he assume that? It's not going to happen again. People my age and older will physically fight for him this time. Oh, so this guy's threatening to join in the insurrection to overthrow America. What do we have to lose? I'll donate the rest of my time here on this planet to do it. And I know many, many, many others who feel the same. They got my 6 and we are locked and loaded. What? We are locked and loaded, dude. That's gun shit, dude. So Donald Trump retweeted it. He basically repeated it. So this is a threat to do a revolution, and he repeated it because he's a pansy, because he's terrible. He's a traitor. Here again. So what did Donald Trump do here? Once he got back on Twitter, he deleted his tweets. Once he got back on Twitter, and this is a tweet that he deleted from January 6th at 7:15. He deleted this tweet, and what was the tweet that he said? He said Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving the states a chance to certify a correct set of facts. So basically, he's saying that Mike Pence didn't go through with the coup, and he's angry at Mike Pence. Donald Trump, and then once he got back on Twitter, he deleted this because this is evidence that he was trying to do the coup. Donald Trump is a traitor, guys. Donald Trump is a traitor. Okay, that's here. Another one. Remember in Helsinki? So here, he's siding with Vladimir Putin over the United States because, the United States found a bunch of stuff about Russia, connected Trump and Russia, and Donald Trump said, no, I don't believe the United States, I believe Putin. Donald Trump sided with Putin over the United States, and he did it in front of the whole world. Remember in Helsinki when a reporter asked him if he believed Putin or if he believed did he believe Putin? Who do I trust more, President Putin or our intelligence lowlifes? In other words, do you believe the United States or do you believe Putin? And he says he believed Putin. He said a bunch of people, but this is all bullshit. So basically, he's siding with Donald. He's like, who would you choose, Putin or these misfits? So he's basically siding with the Putin and against people in the FBI. And the United States. He names a bunch of people, but it's not really true. So, here, do you want to know what he's talking about? Let me show you the video.
For each president, President Trump, you first. Just now, President Putin denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. Who My first question for you, sir, is who do you believe? My second question is, would you now, with the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
Okay, there are two parts. The reporter assumed Donald Trump would side with the United States. That's why he asked the second question. Because the second question assumes Donald Trump said, yes, I side with the United States. And then the second question is, would you denounce Putin right here on the stage and tell him never do it again? Because if you're the president of the United States and you're defending the United States, you want to tell this adversary who's lying about you and who's lying about what he's done to the whole world. And basically he said, Putin's saying, no, I think America's lying. I don't believe what America says about me. And the Americans like, yo, we got all this evidence painting you, Putin, and connecting this thing to say that it actually happened. All these American people are saying so. And Putin, this Russian fascist, is saying, no. So the reporter is like, hey, Donald Trump, we got this fascist Putin over here saying one thing, and you get all these Americans over here saying another thing. Who do you believe? Do you believe the people tasked with defending America, or do you believe the guy who attacked our country? So this is what Donald Trump said in response to that.
So let me just say that we have two thoughts. You have groups.
We have two thoughts, right? We have the Americans who are saying we have all this evidence that show that Donald Trump colluded with Putin to attack the United States. It's not even the collusion part. It's not even the conspiracy part, because it's conspiracy, not collusion. It's conspiracy. But it's the attack. We have evidence of Russian attacks on the United States infrastructure and voting infrastructure. I mean, they basically got a hold of our voting data and then did a coordinated campaign to get the outcome they wanted through hacking.
That are wondering why the FBI never took the server.
What? See, so this is where Donald Trump starts going off on a red herring. He's not talking about who do you believe? Do you believe Donald Trump, or do you believe Vladimir Putin, or do you believe the Americans? See, Donald Trump right now is doing a red herring. He's trying to go off on a third direction, which is a conspiracy. Some weird, crazy conspiracy theory. He's got a conspiracy theory. It's just a crazy thing. He's trying to throw people off the question. So he's going to add a bunch of bullshit. This is what he's doing, bullshit.
Why haven't they taken the server?
What, sir? So he's pushing some conspiracy that there's some Democratic server or something or emails or something. I don't even know what he's trying to do. He's trying to confuse people.
Why was the FBI told to leave the office of the?
I don't know. He's making it up. Here, look at his eyeballs. Can I zoom it? How do I zoom it? Oh man, I used to be able to zoom it by opening the window really big, but Windows 11 took that possibility away from me. Oh yeah, there you go. Well, no, it doesn't. It's just like, can I zoom in on his face? Yeah, here, go. No, what's happening? Play.
For each President Trump, yes. You first.
The office of the Democratic National Committee. I took the server. Why haven't they taken the server?
Whatever, dude.
Why was the FBI told to leave the office of the Democratic National Committee? I've been wondering that. I've been asking that for months and months, and I've been tweeting
He's just making it up,
calling it out on social media. Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server?
See, he's not answering the question.
Saying? With that being said, all I can do is ask the question.
He avoided the question. The question was about, do you believe the United States or do you believe Vladimir Putin? And what he did was, let me tell you about this conspiracy theory that supports Vladimir Putin. That's the first thing he did. Because the question was, do you believe Vladimir Putin or do you believe the United States? And the first thing he did was, let me talk shit about the FBI. Like, they're not doing the job I think they should be doing, which is chasing after this conspiracy theory about the Democrats. That's the first thing he does, is he shits on the FBI and the Americans. The first thing he does before he answers the question, he shits on the Americans. Okay, here's the next part.
People came to me, Dan.
Oh, shit, hold on. I'm getting attacked. Let me stop standing out here in the middle of nowhere and go home real quick. Oh, over here. So you can see what I'm doing. Whoa. Oh no, the zombie was chasing me. The zombie's chasing me. Oh, he's got a sword too. He means business. He's like, let me kill this guy real quick. All right.
Coats came to me and some others. They said they think it's Russia.
Dan Coates and others came to me and said they think it's Russia. So my intelligence community, the American intelligence community, along with America's allies, because they didn't just get this information by themselves, they got help from Europe too and from Australia. So they got all this information from all our allies and the Americans. They all said, hey, we think Russia did it.
President Putin.
He says, I have President Putin.
I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia.
So all the Americans and all the allies say, yep, it's Russia. President Putin said it's not Russia. Who do you believe, Donald Trump? That was the fucking question to begin with. Who do you believe? All right, here we go.
I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
He doesn't see any reason why it would be Russia. So in other words, he's siding with Russia. He just took a step over to Vladimir Putin and said, hey, Americans, even though you gave me all this evidence and all these reasons, you gave me all these reasons why it's Russia, I don't see why it would be Russia. You gave me all these reasons why it'd be Russia, but I'm standing here with Vladimir Putin, and I agree. I don't see anything. Do you see anything, Vladimir Putin? He's like, no, I don't see anything. Donald Trump's like, yeah, I don't see anything. Dan Coates, FBI, CIA, NSA, Australia, England, Holland, all these people gave us all this information, all these people, all these connections, but I don't see anything. Do you? No. He just sided with Vladimir Putin over the United States and all her allies. You heard it yourself. It's right there, dude. It's right there.
But I really do want to see the server.
So now, once he's admitted it, that he's siding with Vladimir Putin over the United States, he once again starts going off in that third direction of the conspiracy about some server that would own that's not real, right? It's just there to confuse everyone, and it helps Vladimir Putin because it takes the focus off of him and back onto this weird thing that he's talking about. That's what he opened with, remember?
But I have confidence in both parties. I
have confidence in both parties. You have confidence in the American intelligence agency and confidence in Vladimir Putin. Even though they say opposite things, you have confidence in both of them, and you've already sided with Vladimir Putin against the United States. Like, do you see the multiple problems that are happening here?
I believe that this will probably go on for a while, but I don't think it can go on without finding out what.
So he's like, now he's going to go back to the server thing. Right? He's trying to throw you off.
What happened to the server? What happened to the servers of the Pakistani gentleman?
There's no Pakistani gentleman. There are no servers. He's just making up bullshit. He's just bullshitting. He's just bullshitting. We know this like years later, right? It's 2023, and this is what, 2020, I don't know, 2017, 2018? 2018. Yes, 2018 is when he did this. So, like, we know now that he's full of shit. But back then, he was trying to confuse people. They didn't know what he was talking about. Servers? What do you mean, servers? What are you talking about?
That worked on the DNC. Where are those servers? They're missing. Where are they?
So, he just admitted that he's siding with Vladimir Putin over the United States to the whole world. And then now he's, like, going off on some conspiracy theory to throw you off, that he just sided with Russia over the United States.
happened to Hillary Clinton's emails? 33.
So remember the whole email thing? It's bullshit. It was bullshit. If you ever looked at it, the whole thing was over a little tiny C in parentheses. That's it. Over one line. That was it. It was bullshit. It was nothing. That's why nothing ever happened to her. Despite all these FBI investigations into Hillary Clinton, nothing ever happened because it was bullshit. It was meant to throw you off. It tricked me, right? I wasn't paying attention to that deal. Like I believed the bullshit that Hillary Clinton was corrupt. Because that's what the right wing had been saying for years, and like it just kind of seeped in, like bit by bit. Like I don't know. So like, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Hell, fucking no. There's no way I would ever vote for Donald Trump. But yeah, and besides, I knew that Clinton was gonna win Oregon. But what I'm saying is that that's the purpose of this, right? He's pushing this conspiracy theory to insinuate something. There's no actual proof of anything. He's just insinuating, and that insinuation is enough to try to create fear and doubt. And if you can get someone to doubt, then you can like change their behavior, which is the whole point of active measures of reflexive conditioning. Like they created a feeling that Hillary Clinton wasn't trustworthy. And then that way they can exploit that, even though it wasn't based on anything, they just created the insinuation that she wasn't trustworthy. Then they can endlessly push these ridiculous conspiracy theories. And since there's already the insinuation that Hillary Clinton wasn't trustworthy, that just adds to it. It's psyops. It's a psyop, dude. So that's what Donald Trump is engaged in right here in this situation. He just came back from sitting with an hour and a half with Vladimir Putin. It was just Vladimir Putin and his interpreter, Donald Trump and his interpreter. And then the interpreter destroyed the notes after the meeting was over. So it was just them. That was it. Nobody else. What do you think they talked about? Vladimir Putin showed Donald Trump all the blackmail he had on Donald Trump and said, you're going to do, since I have all this on you and I can destroy you, let me tell you what you're going to do right now when we go out there. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. He spent this whole news conference like sucking up to Vladimir Putin, the whole news conference. So, yeah, so that's what he's doing right here.
3,000 emails gone, just gone. I think in Russia they wouldn't be gone so easily.
See, he praised Russia. Did you hear that? I think in Russia they wouldn't be gone so easily. He just praised Russia. Not only did he shit on the American intelligence, not only did he shit on foreign intelligence, he praised Russia.
I think it's a disgrace that we can't get Hillary's emails gone, just gone. I think in Russia they wouldn't be gone so easily. I think it's a disgrace that
he praised Russia. He's the president of the United States. He's praising Russia, shits all over the United States, and then sides with Putin over his own people. I mean, did you not? I guess I don't know how this could have went under the radar for Americans. This was like the most blatant, obvious, craven display of ass kissing that I've ever seen. But that's the thing. If you ever look at the Ohio Republicans, they love ass kissers. For some reason, Ohio Republicans love ass kissers. So I guess if you're a Republican, you love this Donald Trump sucking up to Vladimir Putin. You love it. You love the brown. You love all that shit smeared in his face. Because you're like, oh man, I wish all Americans could have shit smeared in their face. Pfft. No, brown noser, dude is a brown noser, and he's an ass kisser. And Ohio Republicans love ass kissers. That's why they voted for senator. Yeah, dude.
we can't get Hillary Clinton's 33,000 emails.
So there's no 33,000 emails. It wasn't 33,000 emails. It was like 3 emails. And the classified markings on those emails weren't from her. They were sent to her. And the classified marking wasn't a true classified marking. It was just an indicator of classification. So it wasn't a real thing. It was a barely nothing. It was barely nothing. It was a nothing. It was a big, huge nothing burger. But that's what they blew up, a giant nothing burger, in order to get Donald Trump into power.
Great confidence in my intelligence people, but
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but oh, there's that but. Say it again.
So I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And
I have great confidence, quote, quote, in my intelligence people, but they're wrong because Vladimir Putin was very, very strong in his denials. It's obvious. Do you see exactly Donald Trump siding with Vladimir Putin? The whole interview, this whole question, he's siding with Vladimir Putin and pushing the narrative that keeps fascists into power.
what he did is an incredible offer.
Vladimir Putin is going to offer something.
Offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think
he wants to send the people investigating Donald Trump to Russia. That's what Vladimir Putin said. He said, hey, why don't you have your investigators come to Russia? Work with our people. Dude, they're gonna in other words, he's like, let me take care of your investigators.
that's an incredible offer. Okay, thank you.
So there it is, right? That's this happened back in 2018. And when it happened, I flipped the fuck out. I went nuts again. Because it was an obvious it was literally Donald Trump siding with his on a world stage, Donald Trump siding with Vladimir Putin over the United States. I thought after that everyone would see it and be like, "Oh, well, it's obvious that Donald Trump is a traitor." But for some reason, I don't think very many Americans have seen that clip. Or if they've seen it, they don't understand it. They don't understand what's happening. They don't, maybe now they do because we've had 4 or 5 years of context. But when it happened, I don't think many Americans understood. I mean, play that clip again. Go, reverse and watch that clip again. And It's literally Donald Trump siding with Vladimir Putin over the United States. And it's disgusting and it's terrible because that Donald Trump was extorting Zelensky because they were both planning on taking over Ukraine. Either toppling the democracy through corruption and pressure, which was Donald Trump's plan to get rid of NATO and that way they have no support. Or since that failed because, but Zelensky didn't give in. And the Ukrainians didn't give in. And then Donald Trump lost the presidency. So Vladimir Putin had no choice but to invade. Further invade. He already invaded the eastern part. Then he had to continue his invasion. Because he had no choice. Donald Trump, his purpose was to get rid of NATO so NATO wouldn't help Ukraine. And to isolate Ukraine, don't give them any weapons, so that it would be easy for them to get rolled over by Russian forces. That was the plan. And then Zelensky wouldn't, if Donald Trump would have still been in power, Zelensky would have been totally weak and isolated, and he would have had to agree to anything that Putin wanted, because he would have been by himself, alone. And that's the way Putin wanted it. He wanted Zelensky so weak that he would agree to anything. And then that way Russia would control Ukraine de facto. They wouldn't need to invade because they would have corrupted the government from inside, by isolation and pressure. But that didn't happen. What happened? Biden got into power, and Donald Trump did everything he could to make sure to stop it. He tried to overthrow the government, but it didn't work. So that means Biden was in power. And when Biden was in power, he reaffirmed the alliance between America and Ukraine. And he re-strengthened NATO. And he got us all back together, and he created a unified front against Russia. And that's the worst thing that Vladimir Putin didn't want that. He wanted everyone fractured and broken. So since he had no other choice, he had to invade with his army. And he thought Vladimir Putin, believed his own bullshit. He thought Ukraine would fold. And when it didn't, he was like, oh shit. And that's where we're at now. So you will see more and more Republicans turn on Ukraine and become pro-Russia. You will see it. Let me see. Already we can see it happening. So share of Republicans who say the U.S. gives too much aid to Ukraine has steadily increased since March, because Republicans and Putin have the same like ideology, which is fascism. So Republicans want Ukraine to fall to Russia because genocide and. So if we check this chart out and you look over here, if you're leaning Republican, in March of 2022, only 9% of Republicans said that the U.S. gave too much. But by January of 2023, 40% of Republicans are saying that the United States gives too much aid to Ukraine. Why? That's weird. Why would the number of Republicans increase once we see how much war and death and destruction Russia is willing to do? I mean, Russia is bombing civilian residential blocks and killing massive numbers of civilians, not because it stops the army, but because it terrorizes the Ukrainian population. Russia attacks the power stations and infrastructure, the water stations of the cities of Ukraine, not because it hurts the military, but because it hurts the people of Ukraine. Russia is a terrorist state, and Republicans are growing more and more in support of a terrorist state. So the trend isn't reflected in the Dems. The Democrats were even more on board with Ukraine, and yeah, it's changed a little bit. It's grown a little bit for too much, but also not enough has grown too. So actually, no, not enough. What am I talking about? Not enough has shrunk. Yeah, Dems changed a little bit, but not nearly to the extent of Republicans. So yes, it's a thing. That's just one more indicator for you to notice. I mean, like, birds of a feather flock together. So if you find a Republican, Republicans tend to be white supremacists. White supremacists tend to hang out with fascists. Fascists, so Russia, fascism, and USA white supremacy get along really well. All right, so this is a note from Heather Cox Richardson's on February 3rd. Last night, former Vice President Mike Pence came out and said, "I think the day could come when we could replace the New Deal with a better deal." That's bullshit. Mike Pence does not want to replace the New Deal with a better deal. He wants to get rid of the New Deal. What is the New Deal? The New Deal was a bunch of social programs, government programs that helped alleviate poverty in the United States, and it also gave workers a number of rights, like the 8-hour workday. Well, that wasn't the unions fought for that, the 8-hour workday. But like a bunch of like worker protections. It was basically a bunch of stuff that the workers were clamoring for. So he wants to get rid of it, and Social Security is part of it. And then Mike Pence wants to get rid of it. Why would Mike Pence want to get rid of it? Because he's with he works for the rich, and anything that helps the poor is bad for the rich, because the rich need the poor to be as weak as possible so that they will sell their labor for as cheap as possible. The whole thing works on human labor. If you can't get human labor, then your capitalist machine doesn't work. Okay, so Pence was talking about Social Security, a centerpiece of the New Deal, saying, literally give younger Americans the ability to take a portion of their Social Security withholdings and put that into a private savings account. In other words, Pence wants to take money out of Social Security account and put it into the stock market. That's what he really means. That's what he's really talking about. He wants to privatize your Social Security fund and put it into the stock market. And then what's the stock market? The stock market is a bunch of private firms that manage the money. So, in other words, he wants to take public money that we all, taxpayer money, and give it to private people and have them invest it. And then maybe you might get some money back. I don't know. Generally, when someone says give me money and I'll give you money, that's a bad idea. It's a scam. Privatizing Social Security is his plan to address the growing national debt by cutting expenditures, at least in domestic spending. But see, the Republicans cut taxes for the rich, and now they can't pay the bills. So the way they want to pay the bills, since they cut taxes for the rich, is by cutting Social Security instead. But wait a minute, we were fine before you cut taxes for the rich. Why don't you just undo those tax cuts? And they say, no, we can't do that. We're not interested in that. Because that tells you who they are. They work for the rich. So another way to reduce the debt would be to raise taxes on corporations and the very, very wealthy, even to where they were before the massive tax cuts Republicans passed in 2017. But current-day Republicans oppose taxes, claiming they redistribute wealth from hardworking people to those who want a handout. They believe that cutting taxes to enable those at the top to accumulate wealth will enable them to invest their money in businesses, creating more jobs. Wealth will trickle down and everyone will do better. Bullshit! If it didn't happen by now, it will never happen. Because it's bullshit. They take trickle down economics is bullshit. It's voodoo economics. It's not real. If you give the rich more money, all they do is hoard it. They don't invest it. They put it in the stock market, which is a big gambling thing. And that's where Mike Pence wants you to put your Social Security, in the stock market, so rich people can gamble with it. I mean, instead of if you really want to save Social Security, the way you do that is you take off the cap. Right now, there's a cap. Any income that people make above $100,000 is not taxed for Social Security. That means Social Security is only put on poor people, the poorer people. If you're rich, you don't pay no Social Security. All that money is free, which is terrible, dude. You should pay into Social Security all the way, just like everybody else does. If you do that, if you make millionaires and billionaires pay into Social Security would be good forever. That's one way. The other way is Republicans have this crazy idea. They want to increase the age for retirement to 70 years old. Yo, guys. Did you see what happened after COVID? The American life expectancy fell by like 3 years. And for African Americans, their life expectancy is only like 73 years. So they would only have 3 years of retirement to live off of before they die. I think that's a stupid idea to raise the retirement age to 70 years old. That's a dumb idea. I propose we do the exact opposite, and we lower the age of retirement. We lower it to 55. if you lower the age of retirement and then turn it into like a graduated benefit system, that if you make for every $2 you make above the cap, you lose $1, or like you don't get $1 of Social Security. Like, so in other words, if you're making bank, you can't keep getting money back from Social Security. But if you're not working, then you get like your full benefit from Social Security. But if you're only working a little bit, you still make extra money on top of your Social Security. It doesn't get all taken away just because you make extra money. It's only if you make like bank while taking Social Security that it starts like taking away from Social Security. Like you get smaller benefits per month. If you do it like that, then you allow our senior citizens to contribute at a level that they feel comfortable at. Not all senior citizens, want to work, right? They want to do something. They don't want to just sit at home, but they can't work a full-time job. They can't sit there for 8 hours doing manual labor. Like they can maybe do like 4 hours, maybe 3 hours, maybe 2 hours, which is cool, right? Then you get 4 of them together. and then like all 4 of them together make 1. And then like there's got to be like a benefit to that. You have to have like a benefit to the business to hire senior citizens who want to work but don't want to work full time. Like I'm telling you guys, there's ways we can improve our economy, make it more efficient, and make it work for humans, not for like corporations and for billionaires. We can do it, right? All we have to do is take control of the government. How do you know if you have control of the government? You look at where the policies go, right? If just like a gun, how do you know if the person holding the gun is a good guy or a bad guy? You look at where the bullets go. If the bullets go into a bad person and harm is further harm is stopped and justice prevails, then the person holding the gun is a good guy. If the bullets go into an innocent person, then the person and that causes unjust death and destruction, then the person holding the gun is a bad guy. I don't care what uniform they're wearing. I don't care what side of the street they're on. I don't care what color of the skin they're doing. What matters is the outcome. What counts are outcomes. So same thing with government. If you want to know if the people holding government are good guys or bad guys, you look at the outcomes. So we looked at the Democrats. They controlled government for 2 years, and the outcomes of that were infrastructure, healthcare. What else did they do? They did a bunch of stuff. Student loan forgiveness. Cool, right? Okay, that's the outcomes when Democrats hold government. I would say Democrats are good guys. All right, when Republicans hold government, what do? Tax cuts for billionaires. They try to extort foreign countries and then acquit the criminal. I would say those people are bad guys. It's pretty clear to me. Do you need help? Do you want to talk? I would love to talk to someone and clear this up. I think a lot of them, the problem in the United States is that we don't talk to each other anymore. We're in like information bubbles and we don't talk to each other. So we can't compare notes because I don't know what your assumptions are that might be incorrect. Maybe I have assumptions that are incorrect that you can tell me that it's not really that way. They don't really believe that or whatever. Like, let me know, right? Talk to me. I don't know. I should go chop down some trees. Yeah, we can absolutely make a better society. It's absolutely possible. I'm just gonna deforest my forest. What else is going on? Okay, here. So Mississippi, white Confederate state, Jackson, no water. So this argument is what gives us the story. Coyote Crown reported yesterday for the Mississippi Free Press. 38 of Mississippi's rural hospitals, more than half of them, are in danger of collapsing because Governor Tate Reeves refuses to allow the state to accept an expansion of Medicaid. The hospitals are required to treat all patients who need care, but since many patients are uninsured, without the expansion of Medicaid, the hospitals don't get paid. So in other words, like if you're a hospital and someone comes in and they're like dying or whatever, they need help, but they're poor and they don't have insurance. The hospital can't just say, "Well, sorry, dude, you're out of here. Peace out." The hospital has to treat the person. It doesn't matter if they're homeless. It doesn't matter if they're from another country. It doesn't matter anything. The hospital has to take care of them. So, and then they don't get paid, right? Even if they have to eat the cost, they just eat the cost of whatever they do. The hospital has to eat the cost. Now, if you expand Medicaid into your state, that means the feds will give you money. For people, so that if they're uninsured, then they have Medicaid, and that means the government, the federal government, will pay you to take care of them. So that way, these hospitals who right now take care of people and don't get any money, that means they would get money. Yay! But Republicans don't want to do it. They won't allow it. Remember, Republicans want people to be as weak as possible. So Republicans are like, no, we don't want the federal government to give us money, give our rural hospitals money, because then that means the feds can would help poor people, and we don't think poor people deserve to be helped. So yeah, so yeah, these people are uninsured. They have no Medicare. They have nothing. Because Republicans and like, remember, the capital of Mississippi is Jackson, and for like months they didn't have any water in Jackson because their water system was all old and antiquated and never got fixed. So if you're a private individual, no problem, right? If you're wealthy, if you had private wealth, no problem. You had your own private water supply. But if you needed the municipal water supply, you were screwed. Because that's how Republicans roll. They're feudal. They're like neo-feudalists. On Monday, Reeves warned Republican lawmakers not to cave under the pressure of Democrats and their allies in the media who are pushing for the expansion of Obamacare, welfare, and socialized medicine. You mean things that help poor people? Instead, seek innovative free market solutions that disrupt traditional healthcare delivery models, increase competition, and lead to better healthcare outcomes for Mississippians. That's bullshit, dude. There's no such thing. In other words, he wants to give more money to private corporations and take away money from taxpayers. Last month, in a poll from Mississippi Today, about 80% of Mississippi voters wanted Medicaid expansion. But remember, Mississippi is a state controlled by white supremacists, by Confederates. So they don't care what voters want. They only want to concentrate power and wealth. That's why they don't want to expand Medicaid into the state, because that dilutes the power and wealth of the local oligarchs in Mississippi. Dr. Heather Richardson, she's great. So she's great. She's a historian. She's a doctor of has a doctorate in history, and She said, Biden told his audience that once every 3, 4, or 5 generations, there's a fundamental shift in world politics and national politics, and that we are in such a shift now. What will happen in the next 3 or 4 years is going to determine what this country looks like for the next 4 or 5 decades. We're laying down a foundation because the world is changing, dramatically changing, and we have a choice. No joke. It's pretty clear, right? What's going on. In Mississippi, the Democrats are trying to bring things that help people, and Republicans are trying to stop it. And they want to institute a government that is not representative of the people. They want to take away my vote and your vote and put in whoever they think should be there. I don't want to fight. Okay, another thing. So, right now, the Proud Boys are on trial for seditious conspiracy, which is another way of saying trying to overthrow the government, which is treason. They're traitors. They're on trial because they're traitors. So, just to get a reminder of what they did, right? That's one guy right there. That's one of the guys who's on trial for seditious conspiracy. He's a Proud Boy. He and other Proud Boys had a plan to break into the Capitol. And they were working with Donald Trump to stop the certification of the election. The whole plan was to stop the United States from transferring power through it was all about, the key was the certification. They are trying to disrupt the certification. On the outside is the riot, and on the inside, the individual legislators are voting not to certify the election based on some conspiracy. Because remember, they want to overthrow the government. They're trying to overthrow the government. It was a two-pronged thing. They're both working together. But this is one of the Proud Boys that's on trial right now. There's another Proud Boy. That's Joe Biggs. He's another leader of the Proud Boys who's on trial for overthrowing the government. So they look like they're separate, right? But that was their plan. The Proud Boys made a plan not to dress in their colors, to make it look like they could blend into the crowd, so that even though they were coordinating together, it wouldn't be very obvious from looking, because they're not wearing their traditional colors. But they have a plan. They're a gang, and they're working the crowd to attack the police. So they're working together. They don't look like it. Did you see him do the head thing to say come over here, and now he's going over there? They're working together. Here, go back. Watch him do his head thing. Say come over here. See it? You see it? Ever so slight. Ever so slight. Now they're shoulder to shoulder. This is part of their plan, but they're not dressed in their colors because they don't want to look like they're together, even though they are. And there he is again, right? So he moved into position after being motioned over there. Now they're both looking down, and they're moving the gate that separates the police from the protesters. They're both working the gate to knock it over. You see them? Both these guys, that's what they're doing. They're working. He puts his mask on, right? He's putting his mask on because he's getting ready to do bad things. And watch again, watch again. He's like, I'm about to do a crime. I'm going to cover my face.
After what we did for you!
Our fucking country!
So here now, these two guys are gonna break the gate. They're gonna knock over the gate so that everyone can rush. Because they worked in a conspiracy. It was part of their plan. They dismantled the gate. They undid the gate, so they had to undo it and to throw it out. So yeah, they're in a conspiracy. They're trying to overthrow the government. So you're like, wow, that's kind of, the Proud Boys, that they're a terrorist organization, and their leaders are on trial for treason. But that's the thing about them. They're an organization. They're all over the place. This is them patrolling Bush Pasture Park.
Fascism, I love it.
Here, I'm gonna mute it because you don't need to hear anything. I'm gonna rotate it. View rotate. Rotate counterclockwise. Look, okay, so that's a baton, a knife, an AR-15, a knife, an AR-15, a knife, helmet, a sidearm, an AR-15, a nightstick, a bat. So all these, they're a gang. They were a gang walking around the park with weapons. With fucking guns and clubs and mace. I walked around that park and I was followed by two guys with weapons. This guy's got an AR-15. So gun, bat, knife, fucking club. They got what? They're a fucking gang, dude. They're a gang. AR-15. Yeah, they're gang members. That's why they're on trial for sedition. Okay. The white supremacy loop. Cop shoots someone. Public outcry. Politicians demand accountability. Findings conclude lack of training at fault. Police call for more funding for training. Police buy a tank. Cops shoot someone. Public outcry. Politicians demand accountability. It just goes in a circle. Defund the police. Instead of giving them money, just take the money away. Every time they kill someone, take the money away. Police aren't supposed to kill anyone. They're not the executioner. They're not supposed to kill anyone. Take away their money if they kill someone. You do it it's so backwards. It's so backwards. The only reason I can imagine that you would continue to give police money every time they kill someone is because they're a white supremacist organization and you're rewarding them for doing it. Don't be colorblind. People say, oh, yeah, just be colorblind. I don't want to see color. No, that's not the idea. That's not the idea. When you don't see color, it's respected by police and murdered by police. When you don't see color, you can't see patterns. Respected by the police are the light tones, and murdered by the police are all the dark tones. So, wait, let me do that again. When you don't see color, you can't see patterns. If you don't see color and you look at everyone as being the same color, then you can't understand why some people get murdered by police and other people don't get murdered by police. But if you can see color, if you get that extra information into your eyeballs, then you can see patterns. Then you can see people with light-colored skin tend to be respected by the police, and people with dark-colored skin tend to be disrespected by the police and murdered by the police over and over and over again. If you recognize the pattern, then you see, hey, that looks like white supremacy. But you have to look at it. A generation has been taught to be colorblind. They're like, oh yeah, I don't see color. Good people just trying but that was the way it was back in the 80s or 90s. Be colorblind, don't see color, just try to treat everyone equally. But that's not the way it really is. You have to see color. You have to see the way it really is. Because the world has been constructed according to this and according to color. And if you can't see it, then you can't address it. So that's the thing. In USA, police shoot more people dead than Germany, Australia, Sweden, UK, New Zealand. Like, it's not just a little bit more, it's a whole bunch more. Police just kill a whole bunch more here in the United States. So you ask the question, well, why? What is wrong with Americans that so many more Americans get killed by police than they do in any other country? And you got to think, maybe it's not what's wrong with Americans? Why are Americans getting killed so much more than any other country? Why? What's wrong with Americans? What's wrong with them? Well, I look at it and I go, I think it's the guns. Because when I look at all these countries, they all have laws in place to restrict guns held by private people. So private people just don't get to have a gun. It's not easy to get a gun. But over here in USA, it's super easy to get a gun. It's real easy. It's easier to get a gun than it is to get health care in the United States. So I see that it's not that Americans are broken. It's not that something's wrong with Americans. It's the guns. So I'm like, oh, it's the guns. Well, that makes it easy, right? Why don't Americans get rid of guns? If that's the obvious solution, then I'm like, well, that's the thing, right? Let's look at that part. What stops Americans from getting rid of guns? What's wrong with Americans that they can't stop guns, that they can't take care of guns? What's wrong with Americans? Is there some kind of qualitative thing wrong with Americans that makes them different from all these other countries where they could get rid of guns? Why? What's wrong with Americans? What's wrong with them? Well, if you look, it's not all Americans, right? They're not homogeneous. America is very, very diverse. Americans are very diverse. And when you see color, you can start to see a pattern. And that pattern is white supremacy. The white supremacists tend to be pro-gun, and anti-gun regulation. The reason why Americans can't pass gun regulation is because of white supremacists. It's the white supremacists. It's not that Americans as a whole are bad people. It's that the United States, in its diversity, has a very strong strand of ideology called white supremacy. That is trying to take over the government. Well, it is the government. What do you mean trying to? It is. Look at the police. Look at this. This isn't like a trying to. This is white supremacy controlling the government. This is what it looks like when white supremacy controls the government. How do you know who controls if the person holding a gun is a good guy or a bad guy? You look at where the bullets go. How do you know if the group of people controlling government are good people or bad people. You look at the outcomes, where the policies go. So if the people who control government control police, and the police are killing all these Americans, and all these Americans tend to be minorities, even if they're not minorities, they're poor people, right? They're poor white people. You don't see middle class or rich people getting shot by the police. It's poor white people that get shot by the police. It's like, yeah, it tends to be racist. They tend to be on the police, but it's really against all the poor people. But really, it's black people. The police tend to murder black people, and they just tend to murder. Police tend to murder. They're not murdering in all these other countries, only in the United States. And I believe that's because of white supremacy. Because white supremacists are the ones who are very resistant to restricting the police, to defunding the police, to restricting guns, to stop the violence. Because remember, white supremacy is predicated on violence. You can't have white supremacy unless you have violence. All right. Trans people, catch 22. This is like a really good thing. This is by Alejandra Caraballo. Alejandra Caraballo. I think a lot about the trans woman denied a gender marker change on her driver's license. She went outside and took off her top, was arrested by police for indecent exposure that only applies to women, and then placed in a men's jail cell. It's the perfect encapsulation of society. So let's say that again. A transgender woman in Tennessee is asking the state to make a consistent ruling about her gender after a government office labeled her a male, but police arrested her on a female-specific charge. Andrea Jones of Morristown, Tennessee, who had gender reassignment surgery and has been recognized as a woman by the Social Security office, decided to make a statement after her local Tennessee Department of Safety office refused to let her change the gender on her driver's license from male to female. So she went into the DMV and said, hey, I need to change my DMV. It says male, but I'm female. And the DMV office said, no, you're a male. Even though you say you're female, and even though Social Security says you're female, and even though you present as female, this government office is going to refuse it and says you're male. She said, oh, this government office says I'm male? Okay. So she walked outside to the parking lot and removed her shirt, which she reasoned would be acceptable if the state recognized her as male, right? Oh, this government office just told me I'm male. So she went outside after this government office said that she's male, and it had male on her thing, and she took off her top and showed her beautiful, buxom loveliness, right? It's wonderful. It's wonderful. But Tennessee has laws against women that says women can't show their beautiful buxomness in public. Even though this office said this guy's a male, that no, you're a guy and you're male, she went outside and said, okay, if fine. This office says I'm male. The police came and arrested her. For what? For female charge. This office says she's male, but she's being arrested for being a female. Then she's arrested for being a female and put into a male jail cell. So it doesn't make sense. She becomes whatever the state wants her to be in order to punish her. That's not freedom. That's not freedom at all. That's bullshit. So Nazis are trying to destroy trans people, and Americans can't let them do that. We have to defend trans people. I mean, it's freedom, and just because their freedom is different from your freedom doesn't make it less valid. And if they attack their freedom, if Nazis will attack their freedom, Nazis will attack your freedom. Because that's really who's opposed to trans people, are Nazis. Alrighty then. On a final note. Oh, I forgot to record. Damn it. On a final note. Man who allegedly left a dead fish at the Goonies' house rescued from rough seas near stolen yacht. Story by Dennis Romero. Ta-da, this just happened. This is a crazy story. So this guy stole a yacht and like was out in the ocean, but there was a big storm. So like he needed to get rescued from his yacht that he stole because he doesn't really know how to drive it. And this guy named John Walton, he's going through Coast Guard Academy, and today is his graduation day, or that day was his graduation day. But before he could graduate, there came a Mayday call that he needed to like get rescued from the boat. So before this guy got to graduate, his final test was to go rescue someone from a boat. So he jumped into the from a helicopter, he jumped into the stormy giant wave ocean to go rescue a guy in a boat. Go check this out. This is crazy. He jumped in. Oh shit. He jumped into the ocean. And that's him, like they're swimming to him, the boat. Watch this wave coming up. Look at this wave coming. Look at this wave coming. Oh my god, oh my god! Yeah, so he did it though, right? He did it. The brave rescuer was identified late Friday as aviation survival technician 3rd class John Branch Walton. It was his first life saved as a rescue swimmer, and he graduated later that day from the Coast Guard's Advanced Helicopter Rescue School, the agency said. Astoria, a city on the Columbia River, is roughly 100 miles northwest of Portland, Oregon. So yeah, congratulations, Mr. What was his name? Mr. John Walton. That was like amazing. You jumped in that scary ocean and to rescue the guy, and that guy was like a jerk. He left a dead fish at the Goonies' house, and he stole someone's yacht. He's such a jerk. And then he put people's lives at risk, and he made people use all that gas and all that equipment just to rescue his dumb ass because he stole the yacht. But that tells us what kind of society and people we are. That we will help people even if they're dumb and don't deserve it. We will help them anyways. We should help them anyways. That demonstrates our humanity. That's like good. That's great that we would do that. I think that's great. It shows that we have humanity. So all right then. I don't know. I burned a bunch of energy just getting this thing this ready. Like I have to look on YouTube to see what it looks like. But it should be cool, right? Right? Yeah, this is kind of like a kind of crazy. But I like Java. To me, it makes the world feels more alive in Java. It just feels like a more complete game. Well, here, no, F3, no, F5, no. Yeah. It's kind of spiking, but that's okay. I think it should be okay. All right, until next time, America. Like, pay attention to the Proud Boy trial, because once Proud Boys are convicted of seditious conspiracy, then the prosecutors can move on up to Roger Stone and Donald Trump. And then it's going to start getting crazy. Because Donald Trump, you can already see him calling to his shadow army to rise up if Donald Trump is indicted, which is so dumb. But we already know, right? We already know Donald Trump is a traitor. He did it on a national stage, on a world stage. He betrayed the United States on a world stage. Like, I've just shown it to you. It's already there. So hang in there. Hang in there. Yeah, it'll be cool. All right, until next time. Pogo Kiddo out. Peace. Stop.